When we're creating sheets and we're adding some functions and formulas to our sheets, sometimes we want to do something in the future, but we know that we want to do it. And so we can set up some formulas. And I've been doing recently a lot in spreadsheet automation, using AppScript, using code, but I wanted to go back to some formulas that I think feel like magic. They feel like automation. They really seem like you're adding automation to your sheets, meaning if you as a user or another person using your sheet takes some action or enters some data, something happens based on that action. So as a result, like an effect, right? An action and an effect. Now, we can do a lot of this in AppScript, but if you're uncomfortable with code, if you're uncomfortable diving into AppScript using onEdit, onOpen, and these sort of built-in functions, and you're sort of not really convinced you want to learn to code, I want to give you some interesting formulas and formula pairings that help you make essentially automation inside your sheets. They will at least seem like automation or seem like magic sometimes. First off is the if. And we're going to go through all four of these: if, flatten, if error, filter. We're going to talk about transpose and unique, one of my favorite types of things to do because it sort of creates headers. If, we're going to create literally something out of nothing. Flatten takes a bunch of mangled data, turns it into a single array, and we'll talk about that, or column. And if, error, and filter is really cool because you can set up filters before you know someone's going to fill it out, and then as if like magic, their information is filtered once they sort of go to another page. So we'll get into this. Let's get into it. Let's start off with the if. The simplest way I can show you this is if we create a to-do list, our task list inside of Sheets. And we have a checkbox here. Coolest thing about checkboxes is that they are a visual representation of the values of true and false. We can create in here, we use equals, if. Logical expression in our if formula needs to be something that ends up being true or false. But checkboxes are true or false. So we can just reference the checkbox A2. Now, if the value is true, meaning it's checked off, it'll show something. If it's false, it'll show something else. So one thing you can do in this particular case is say, if it's true, write a word. And if it's false, we can sort of just say whatever, like task 1 here, whatever the task we're trying to do. What that allows us to do is when we hit this checkbox, this is done. We can also conjure it from nothing. So we can write this all the way down. We can also put all of these tasks on a separate tab and then reference their cell here. Instead of the word task 1, we can reference a cell like B2 here. Now, as we go down, you'll see that these are done. So we can keep this B column on another tab if we really want to. But we can see that this is done, right? That changes our text just based on that action of checking off. But we can also show things. So let's say we don't want to see task 2 through 10. Basically, we don't want to see the next task until we're done with one. So what we can do is equal, same thing, A2, but in the true, actually we'll do task 1, we'll leave as is. For task 2, we'll do equals if. Our logical expression is going to be the row above it, A2. And we're going to say, if the value is true, show task 2. If it's false, meaning there is no check mark, we are going to do nothing. We're going to leave this absolutely blank, right? After the comma, we don't do anything there. And we're going to hit enter. Now, when task 1 is done, check, task 2 shows up. So we're going from nothing to something. We're literally conjuring up here this task 2 based on the checkbox on A2. And we can do this all the way down. Again, we don't have to write in the string here, the words here. We can reference something else. So we can reference, say, B2, or B3, sorry, here. And we can do this all the way down. So now I copied it. There are formulas here, but it looks like there's nothing. And as we go, task 2, we're done. We show up task 3. All right, click another one. We're done with that. Task 4 shows up. This is a really cool way to really bring some automation in, right? Show the next task when the task is done, or some kind of approval steps. You might be able to do some fun quizzes in this. Really some cool use cases here. That's if, and we really conjure something up from nothing, something from nothing. Now, flatten is a little less exciting, I will say. Let's create another tab, and we have some, task. Maybe we're writing down our notes, but they're in many different columns, right? We have sort of this data that's mangled up. We have task 3 here, we have task 4, we have task 5 up here. One of the interesting things is with Google Sheets is sometimes, maybe not interesting, maybe one of the heartbreaking things is we will use somebody else's data, right? Somebody else will put something in a sheet and we have to analyze it. We have to manage that data. We have to like figure out, wrangle it up, right? Like a cowboy with some stray cows or some stray sheep have gotten out. And of course, if I wanted to put this all in a list, I would do something like task 1, task 2. I would just like look at these and write them somewhere else, and this is going to take a while. But what I can do is equals flatten, and what this will do is we'll take the whole range here and see now everything's in one column. Now, there does include the blanks here, right? Because sometimes our data is absolutely full. Like we have task 2, task 3, task 4, 5, task 6, right? And if we do it like this, it will actually, if these are all in order vertically, but we're putting them all in one column, this will end up being, actually it has to go across, sorry. So you see here, task 1, task 4 is across horizontal. Each row is getting the column and then it's adding them together, all in one column. This is really cool. Again, if you have a whole bunch of mangled data, you would also want to have something like sort, perhaps. You can sort this sheet, and do something like this. You can also sort. That will help you. But this flatten is the key here. Flatten is going to take a wide array of like ranges, right? A two-dimensional array or range, right? Columns and rows. And it's going to put it all in one place. This is really cool because we don't have to put flatten in after the data comes in. We can put flatten in a sheet or maybe on another tab and say, okay, here's 3 or 4 columns that you're going to put any information you want here. And then on this other tab, it's going to capture all of that and put it in one column. Very, very useful for certain types of tasks or data entry when you're not really sure, like maybe you just want to see a wide range of data here. Very, very cool to add flatten somewhere where the data that's coming in is across many different rows and many different columns specifically. All right, the next one is a formula pair, if error and filter. Now, what happens with filter, we'll do something like this. We'll actually we'll rename these. This is if, this is flatten, and we'll add another one, filter. You might be familiar with filter, but I want to show you one extra thing you can do with if error. Basically task 2, task 3, maybe there's task 4, and we go equal, and then we're like done. We'll write done here, done, and then in task done. We can do equals filter. We're going to filter out a column, but we're going to say only ones in the A column that the B column is equal to done. So we only want to see the done ones, the done tasks. And we can label this done. Now this is cool, right? We can add this filter in. And now if we have a list of tasks, we can even increase however many are here. As we get them done, we get a list here. We don't even have to spell done with a capital D. If we get our tasks here, they will automatically show up in this filter. That is if we use the filter for the entire column, right? Here is the problem. If we have no tasks done, if this filter is empty, we're going to get an error here. And the error is NA. It means no matches are found. So it's not really a real error. I mean, it is literally an error in that there's nothing there. It can't show anything. But it's not an error because we're gonna fill in something. So you can wrap if error, you can use the formula if error, wrap it around filter. And instead of saying like some text here, like you can literally do nothing. You can just add that comma, hit enter, and now it's blank. So it doesn't show anything until somebody starts typing in done, right? Where we have these done tasks. Done's not done's, done. Now that's pretty cool, right? It's essentially conjuring a filtered list based on your list that you have here. Like that's really cool. You don't have to show the filter. You don't have to show an error. You can do if error. I'll show you one extra thing. If, however, you do encounter other errors other than NA, and you want to show that. See, if error is going to happen no matter what the error is, but we actually know the actual error is NA. So you can do if NA here. So if NA is essentially the exact same thing as if error, but it will only it'll only cover the if and a error. And that's really cool, because then if for some reason our filter, we actually do have a problem with this syntax, if we have a problem with it here, it will show up and we'll see, okay, we have an error, we have to fix that. And so if NA is sometimes better if you're unconfident about your formula typing and your syntax. And I would always recommend doing it first without the if error or the if NA, just do filter alone, get the error, and then put the wrapper on it. That's what I would recommend. Cool. Now, transpose and unique. This is probably one of my funkiest and funniest flavors of formula pairings. It's using transpose, which is a really fun, weird formula here. Let's retype that transpose. Better. Transpose. All right, transpose. What it do? It takes let's do our task list again. Task 1, task 2. Let's create a few more. And if we do equals transpose, and we just take in B1, B2 to B6, what does it do? It puts everything horizontal. It literally just changes from a column to a row. Well, if we have some kind of categories, let's say for these tasks, like there is home tasks, there is office tasks, there are, baby, we have to take care of the baby for some of these tasks. And we want to prioritize, let's say, the baby stuff. Like we have a task list and we're like, here's our categories of what this task is, what this thing we need to do. And we want to create what's sort of like a Kanban board or a Trello board, it might be, where we have home, office, and baby. And we'll list underneath here, we'll use our filter. I actually have a whole nother video about this. Check out Kanban board or Trello board in Better Sheets. I have a whole nother video about this. We'll put a filter down here. But this headers here, what happens if we end up having like a different task, right? We have a car task we add. We could programmatically or automatically add that to this header list. And that's how we use unique and transpose. What unique does is we'll take all the unique of a column. Here is all of our unique. Now, if the car didn't exist, it would only show home, office, baby. But if we add car, this unique formula is automatically bringing in the car. So this is a list, right? But we want it as headers. You might be yelling the answer to me right now. You might be like, it's transpose because I just showed that to you, right? So what we can do with our unique is wrap it with transpose. And let's see what happens there. And now, suddenly, we have all of our headers in exactly the way we want them, and specifically in the order that they are vertically, they will be uniquely as our headers. And all we're doing is taking transpose and wrapping that around the unique formula. This is really cool. Now, again, if you want to check out the actual Kanban board video, go check that out at Better Sheets. I have a whole video about using filter here and this particular formula pair. But this one was supposed to show you automation-esque kind of things. Bring a little bit more automation to your sheets without knowing AppScript. Again, if you are not confident about AppScript or you're interested in AppScript and actually automating your sheets, I just released Spreadsheet Automation 101. And I think if you're watching this video, I'll be putting this video actually part of that course. There's 29 modules already. It's just less than 3 hours. With this video, we're going to hit over 3 hours of content over at Spreadsheet Automation 101. Check it out. It's available right now on bettersheets.co. If you're a member, if you're a lifetime member, you have automatic access to it. But also, if you're not a member and you're watching this, say, on YouTube, go check out Spreadsheet Automation 101 and on Udemy. It's available on Udemy. Thanks for watching. Bye.